Tom Swift in the Caves of Ice by Victor Appleton. Chapter 5. Grave Suspicions. Tom's announcement took all by surprise. For a moment no one knew what to say, while the young inventor looked more closely at the parchment map. "Do you really think he dared to make a copy of it?" asked Mr. Swift. "I do," answered his son. "That ink spot wasn't there when Abe gave him the map, was it?" "No," replied the miner. "And it couldn't get on in Andy's pocket," went on Tom. "So he must have had it open near where there was ink." "His fountain pen might have leaked," suggested Mr. Jackson. "In that case, the ink spot would be on the outside of the map, and not on the inside," declared Tom with the instinct of a detective. "Unless he had the map folded in his pocket, with the inside surface on the outside, the ink could have gotten on. Besides, Andy always carries his fountain pen in his upper vest pocket, and that pocket is too small to hold the map. No, I'm almost positive that Andy or his father have sneakingly made a copy of this map." "I'm sorry to have to admit that Mr. Foger is capable of such an act," spoke Mr. Swift, "but I believe it is true. And here is another thing," went on the young inventor, who was now closely scanning the parchment through a powerful magnifying glass. "Do you see those tiny holes here and there, Mr. Jackson?" "Yes," answered the engineer. "Were they there before, Abe?" went on Tom, calling the old miner's attention to them. "Nary one," was the answer. "It looks as if someone had been sticking pins in the map." "Not pins," said Tom, "but sharp points of a pair of dividers, or compasses for measuring distances. Andy, or whoever made a copy of the map, used the dividers to take off distances with. This clinches it, in my mind." "But what can you do?" asked Tom's father. "I don't know," answered the young inventor. "It would be of little use to go to Andy. Naturally, he would deny having made a copy of the map, and his father would also, even though I am sure they have a copy. I don't see how I am going to make them give it up. It's a hard case. There's only one thing I see to do." "What's that?" asked Abe. "Start for Alaska as soon as possible, and be first on hand at the Valley of Gold." "Good," cried the miner. "That's the way to talk. We'll start off at once. I know my way around that country pretty well, and even though winter is coming on, I think we can travel in the airship. That's one reason why I wanted to go in one of these flying machines. Winter is no time to be in Alaska, but if we have an airship, we won't mind it, and it's the best time to keep other people away, for the ordinary miner or prospector can't do anything in Alaska in winter. That is, away up north, where we're going." "Exactly where are we going?" asked Tom. "I've been so excited about discovering Andy's trick that I haven't had much time to consider where we're bound for, nor what will be the best plan to follow." "Well, we're going to a region about 750 miles northwest from Sitka," explained the old miner as he pointed out the location on the map. "We'll head for what they call the Snow Mountains, and the Valley of Gold is in their midst. It's just over the Arctic Circle, and pretty cold, let me tell you." "You'll be warm enough in Tom's airship, with the electric stoves going," commented Mr. Jackson. "Well, we'll need to be," went on the miner. "The valley is full of caves of ice. It's dangerous for the ordinary traveler. In fact, an airship was the only way I saw out of the difficulty when I was there." "Then you have been to the Valley of Gold?" asked Tom. "Well, not exactly to it," was the reply, "but I was where I could see it. That was in the summer, though of course the summer there isn't like here. I'll tell you how it was." The miner settled himself more comfortably in his chair and resumed his story. "It was 2 years ago," he said, "that me and Jim Mace started to prospect in Alaska. We didn't have much luck, and we kept on working our way further north till we came to these snow mountains. Then our supplies gave out, and if it hadn't been for some friendly Eskimos, I don't know what we would have done. Jim and me, we gave 'em some trinkets and such, and the Indians began talking of a wonderful valley of gold, where the stuff lay around in chunks on top of the ground. Me and Jim pricked up our ears at that, so to speak, and we wanted to see the place. After some delay, we was taken back to the top of a big crag, some distance away from where we had been stopping with the friendly Eskimos, or Indians, as I call 'em. There, away down below, was a valley, and a curious sort of valley it were. It seemed filled with big bubbles made of solid banks of snow or ice. And we was told, me and Jim was, that these were caves of ice, and that the gold was near these caves. Well, of course, me and my partner wanted to go down the worst way, try for some gold, but the Indians wouldn't let us. They said it was dangerous, for the ice caves were constantly falling in and smashing whoever was inside. But to prove what they said about the gold, they sent one of their number down while we waited on the side of the mountain. "Did he get any gold?" asked Tom eagerly. For answer, the old miner pulled from his pocket a few yellow pebbles, little stones, dull, gleaming yellow. "There's some of the gold from amid the caves of ice," he remarked simply. "Kept 'em for souvenir, hoping some day I might get back there." Well, Jim and me watched the Indian going down into the valley. Came back in about 3 hours, having only gone to the nearest cave. He had 2 pockets filled with these little chunks of solid gold. They gave me and Jim some, but they wouldn't hear of us going to the valley by ourselves. Then a bad storm come up, and we had to hit the trail for home. The Indians' home, for Jim and I was far enough away from ours. Well, to make a long story short, Jim and me tried every way we knowed to get to that valley, but we couldn't. Come off colder and colder, and the tribe of Indians with whom we lived was attacked by some of their enemies and driven them away from their camping grounds. Jim and me, we went too, but not before Jim had drawn this map on a piece of dogskin we found in one of the huts. We had an idea we might get back some day and find the valley, so we need a map to go by. Poor Jim never got back. He got badly frozen when the Indians drove us and our friends away, and he never got over it. He died up there in the ice. We buried him. I took the map, and when spring came, I made a hike out of that country. From then until now, I've been planning how to get to that valley, and the only way I seen was an airship. Then, when I was prospecting around out in Colorado, I saw Tom's machine hidden in the trees, and I waited until he come along, which part you know as well as I do," finished Abe. "And that's the story of the Valley of Gold," spoke Mr. Swift. "That's all there is to it," assented Abe simply. "Do you think there is much gold there?" asked Tom. "Oh, plenty of it, for the picking up," replied the miner. "Around the caves of ice it's full of it, but of course it's dangerous, and the only way to get to it, and past the savage Indians that are all around in the mountains about the valley, is to fly over their heads in the airship." "Then that's what we'll do," decided Tom. "Will you go all the way in the Red Cloud?" inquired Mr. Jackson. "No, I think I'll send the airship on ahead to some point in Washington, say Seattle," replied Tom. "Put it together there and start for the snow mountains. In Seattle we can get plenty of supplies and stores. It'll be a good point to start from. It will save us a long and perhaps dangerous flight across the United States." "I think that will be the best plan," agreed Mr. Swift. "But what about Andy? Do you think he'll try to follow or try to get ahead of you, now that he has a copy of the map?" "He may," answered Tom, "but I have a little trick I'm going to work on Andy. I will try to learn whether he really has a copy of the map, though I'm practically certain of it. Then I'll decide what's best to do." In the meantime, will you be getting ready?" asked Gabe. "I'd like to start as soon as we can, for it's awful cold there. Long you wait at this time of the year?" "Yes, I'll start right to work, getting the Red Cloud in readiness to be shipped," promised Tom. End of chapter 5.